The Beam newspaper. We're going to continue this conversation with you subsequently, but thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank
There
you
are
so
some who
much.
have said that Governor Fubara is on his way to the APC. We'll see how all of that eventually play out. Let's return to our conversation on maritime security and the critical role it plays in ensuring safety along our vast coastline. And as you know that I have with me Rear Admiral Francis Akpan, retired. Thank you so much for staying the course on the show. It's a very busy news day, so we have to get in all the updates as regards the developing story. But I'd like us to speak to the heart of, because you have once said that Nigeria is Africa's largest ship-owning country, and yet it has not translated into some form of dominance in shipping or blue economic growth. What do you think must be done now, from policy to naval investment, to unlock that potential?
As at 2023, if I remember the figures, Nigeria's shipping profile, we have just about 291 out of the total fleet of the world. We're just about 1.2% of the total fleet of the world, with a throughput and of course deadweight of less than what is expected. We hope that with the advent of the blue economy and with the Act, or the Cabotage Act, being implemented, we can strike 500 vessels, ownership, fully owned by Nigerians, not just flagged but owned, in the next 5 years, if the Cabotage Act is properly and fully implemented. In the last 10 years or so, we've had issues of piracy and the rest, safety of our economic exclusive zone. And then, of course, the Navy touched it well with the office of the NSA to establish the Falcon Eye by ROTCOMs. And by 2017, it was inaugurated. By 2022, because of the potency of the system, Nigeria was, 3 years ago, we exited from piracy-prone country, saving for us maritime insurance bills of over 800 million per annum, and putting us again back into the good books of Lloyd's and, of course, with the International Maritime Organization. That by itself will encourage ship ownership, and of course with the other strategic posturing of the Ministry of Blue Economy to ensure and engender ship ownership of by Nigerians themselves.
So how do we make Falcon Eye even more effective, especially when it comes to real-time action and not just surveillance? And I'm also thinking, for instance, what worked with that didn't work with other ideas? Because I remember you rejected the idea of a separate Coast Guard. Are we getting that blueprint right as we speak?
Yes, we are. The Falcon Eye sweeps from Cameroon to Togo. It's based on a lot of algorithms. One of them, we have coastal radars. We also have high frequency radars that sweep up to 300 nautical miles. We have coastal radar littered from position from Badagry to 13 Post right up to the Baka Peninsula, where you have the Naval forward operational base. And this has been on consistently since 2017 without any redundancies. It's also connected to the Naval strategic doctrine, where initially opportunistic patrols were carried out, where you just fuel ships and they go out to patrol areas and come back. But now, in the comfort of their ops rooms and offices, and of course the well laid out the command and control center for the Falcon Eye, they will see real time, communicate real time to vessels with the various monitors, and act as accurately as possible to malfeasances at sea. So it's been quite a relief in terms of operations, and has changed the doctrine of the Nigerian Navy to precision in actions and in actions that they take. Falcon Eye has changed and it has assisted too in ensuring that all those illegal activities in our ears have been nipped to the bud. Remember the story of the heroic Idon was leadered with more than 1 million barrels of crude oil and was making heads way to Equatorial Guinea and was arrested and prosecuted. And all the other stories about pirate attacks, they were nipped in the bud because Falcon Eye was there to raise the flags when these issues took place. So Falcon Eye has changed not just the dynamics, but has changed the mode of operations, has prevented illegal bunkering. When I mean illegal bunkering, stealing of crude oil. If you do steal at all, you don't have any chance of taking it to any mother vessel, because Falcon Eye will pick you up.
So how can Navy and the other stakeholders better integrate inland intelligence with maritime operations?
I am for integration with all the systems. Look, I know NIMASA has its own system, MPA, the IOCs, and all other maritime stakeholders. They have their own maritime domain awareness system. I'm for integration. So we can have an all-government approach to maritime domain awareness in terms of maritime security. I am for integration. If the systems can possibly integrate to the Falcon Eye, so be it. I mean, that will expand our scope and it will be best for these countries ideal. We don't have any project now for the backwaters, but ROTCOMS is putting up a project called the Hawkeye that will speak to the issues in the backwaters, sea robbery, and all those issues of burst pipes and the rest. We hope that soon as government approves, because it's going to be backdrop on the platform of the Falcon Eye itself. That way our backwaters can be watched using electro-optic platforms, patrol platforms, using radars, and using drones to be able to close all the gaps of the insecurities we find in our backwaters.
With the weight of your experience, Admiral, because we can't let you go without drawing some wisdom from you, what's that one policy or strategic shift that you would say Nigeria must make now to secure its coastline and fully harness its maritime advantage beyond what we currently have?
Beyond what we have, I think that we must begin to have concert of actions. The maritime community must be built to such an extent that people do not just attach too much to their fiefdoms. We are losing from the gaps. The Nigerian Navy could serve as the hegemony. Minister of Defense, Nigerian Navy, could serve as the hegemony to recreate that maritime community that we made up of Nigerian Post Authority, NIMASA, Customs, NIWA, the Nigerian Inland Waterways Department, Marine Police, all those that have businesses in the maritime sphere must come together under one hub. In other climes, they are called clusters of ministries or clusters of departments. That way, the gaps will be blocked. Those who are intent of breaking those niches that we have created will be discouraged. Unless we do that, we begin to lose, because there are gaps. We begin to lose the essence of both revenues, of both the integrity of our security systems and what have you. So we need to encourage the creation or the re-establishment, because I know it exists on paper, but we need to probably domicile it with an act that will allow the Nigerian Navy as the hegemony of the Defense Ministry to go back, create that maritime community that will have the niche to ensure we have not absolute, but very close to it in terms of maritime security.
We have to go now, but what specific role do you see the private sector play in all of this? How can we better stabilize, for instance, high-risk coastal corridors, starting from states like Rivers that dominated our conversation today?
They want that conducive environment created by government through policy so that they can invest, bring in their money into safe havens, like not safe haven, safe environment for business to thrive.
Indeed.
So government has a responsibility through our agencies to create that conducive environment, conducive business environment, conducive security environment for business to thrive. I think the private sector must be given that opportunity to invest greatly too in their sums so that we can have employment, because the greatest risk and threat we have now is poverty and lack of jobs.
Absolutely.
It's really biting. And these are poverty and unemployment. It's eating about 63% of our government spaces. And these are things you can't shoot down with the guns. With private sector encouraged to invest in both blue economy and other maritime sectors, we can alleviate the lives of our people, create jobs, because it's really, really, really what is the biggest threat from my own analysis is poverty and unemployment.
Rear Admiral Francis Dan Akpan retired. He is a seasoned naval officer deeply involved in shaping Nigeria's maritime strategy. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And we're hoping that this conversation will happen more often, because we have a lot to draw from you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for finding time to come.
Thanks.
That's our show today, everyone, and thank you for being a part of it. Remember, you can watch it again at midnight and at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I am Nifemi Oguntoye.